it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with a video for Confessions of a Paper Addict. Now, this video I am using the Van cut file, which you will see shortly. There it is, right there. And I am using Rosie's Studio. Ooh, what collection is this? Take Flight. And I did a little haul, which you haven't seen yet. It will come up on my channel next month. And I got some Shimmers products. So I have not tried Shimmers before. And I picked them up, which I was super excited about, from a scrapbooking store in Australia. And the store is called Crazy Craft Obsession. They're based in New South Wales, I think in the Newcastle area, but it's an online scrapbook store. And they are stocking Shimmers. So I was very excited. Picked some up just to have a play. Now, what colours did I use? That's a very good question. I think I used the yellow, I think was Meet Me at Sunset, which is an Inklings. I think now you see I've got a few different ones and you can probably see better than I can what they are on the screen, because I'm working on a very tiny little screen and you guys have a bigger screen there. I think I might have used the Creamies Piggy Pink. Did I? I'm not sure. I don't know what I used. I've got a whole heap. Well, when I say a whole heap, I've got a handful. The thing I'm loving about them, to be honest, is they're so small. The pots are so small, they're going to be really easy to store. So I'm super excited. Now, I'm just doing very basic technique here. So I am wetting my Shimmers products and I am adding them to some plastic and then doing the packaging technique. And then I am adding a few splatters as well. So I do have a couple of ones that are already like liquidy. I don't know enough about the different Shimmers products, I'll be honest. But the actual Shimmers, which I think might have been the original ones they made, are like they're liquid already. So I do have a couple of those. I can't remember if I used them in this video or a different video when I was just playing around, but I just put a tiny bit onto some plastic, add a bit more water to water it down, and then again just use the packaging technique. So that's what I'm doing here, adding splatters as well as the squishy packaging technique. You can see the shimmer when I hold it up like that. It's really hard to see if you're not in person, but the products that are Shimmers, the shimmery ones, so I think the ones that are shimmery are like the Shimmers, the Inklings, and the Blings, and then I think the Creamies are not shimmery, but I only have one Creamy, so you know, I'm really just experimenting. But I was excited to find a stockist in Australia that stocked Shimmers, so that was very exciting. Now, you haven't really seen much of the cut file yet that I'm using from Confessions of a Paper Addict, but as I said, it is called the Van cut file. It's a relatively new one, I think from the last few months, and I knew I had these super cute photos of Lincoln in like a camper van, when I say a toy one, like one of those rides at like shopping centres and stuff, that he doesn't realise that you pay money for them and they do something. He just thinks they're fun, you know, cars and toys to climb on. So he hasn't quite comprehended yet that actually if he makes mum or dad put money in, they make a noise and light up and do all sorts. So that's kind of nice at the moment. I can get away with him just playing on them and not having to put money in. Don't know how much longer that will last. But yes, I took some photos of him playing on one of those. I knew as soon as I saw this cut file that they would be perfect for those photos. So I'm sort of finally up to there in my album. And so I pulled out the Take Flight collection from Rosie's Studio. I already went through and pulled some embellishments that I thought would work. And then I actually found in a different collection, and I don't remember what the collection's called, and I do apologise. I've got a little yellow Volkswagen, which basically looks exactly the same as the cut file. And I knew I wanted to get that on the page because it's a Volkswagen, a Volkswagen van, as exactly the cut file is. It's not quite a great colour match, but I make it work, I think. So you can see here, I've got my cut file. I'm just sort of fiddling around. Well, I'm not. I'm clearly off camera getting something. But I know I'm thinking about how I want my photos to be placed on the page, as well as where I want the cut file to go. So I'm thinking I'll put my photos down the bottom and I'll sort of move the cut file up a bit, but keep it roughly in the middle. So I don't actually know what I'm doing. Oh well, lucky, I'm back. Who knows? I was probably doing something on the computer or trying to find a supply that I thought I might need. Who knows? Anyway, as I said, I want to pop my photos on the bottom there and then keep my cut file sort of in the middle but above my photos. I've got my 3 photos down the bottom, and then I've got a few layering pieces and some florals, which I know is a weird combination, but I was kind of going for the whole hippie van vibe. The van in the photo is blue and it's got some flowers on the side, so we're just going with it. There's no other blue on this page, really. There's a light blue, but certainly not the darker, sort of more, is it more of a periwinkle? I don't really know my colours. Blue in the photos anyway. There's not that on the page at all, so we're just kind of going with it. But this Take Flight collection, I just thought it was a good match, even though it didn't have that darker blue. So I'm layering up a few tags and a few different layering pieces. If you've had Rosie Studio products before, you might know that the ephemera packs come with 2 of everything. So there is a lot of stuff in the ephemera packs. So I'm not sort of shy when it comes to using things from Rosie Studio, because I know that those packs are going to last a long time. So I'm layering up. I'm creating 2 clusters of florals, one on the top right of the photos and one on the bottom left of the photos. I do, I don't think I've done it yet. I do add a couple of pattern papers to mat my photos, but I've realised before I did that that I'd have already stuck foam under the middle photo, which is the one of Lincoln standing up. He's staring at the little computer screen that was in the van and sort of looking back out the door to me before I took a photo, and I forgot that I'd already backed that on foam, so I didn't end up being able to mat that particular photo on coloured paper, but I do the other 2. So I just used some wet glue to stick the van down. Now I did back the windows in the van in vellum, so you can definitely still see some of that mixed media peeking through the windows. Because I did the mixed media sort of across most of the page, it definitely peeks out around the cut file as well. So it's very subtle, but it's there. I thought it needed something. The stark white background, I don't know, it just wasn't working for me for this particular layout. I do like a plain white background a lot, but yeah, it just wasn't working for me. So you can see me flipping through the 6x6 paper pad there from Take Flight, pulled out a couple of the pattern papers, went to back my photos, realised the middle one had foam on it already, so just chose 2 of those pattern papers to mat the 2 photos on the outside. Not using my trimmer, just freehanding it all the way. If you haven't worked out by now, that's what I do. I rarely get my trimmer out for this kind of thing, for cutting my mats on photos. So, you know, we just go with it. We acknowledge the imperfect lines. Right, so I have done, this might be the next day. So I had to go attend to my child, I suspect. I usually only get to scrap on the weekends when he's asleep, so I don't get a heap of scrapping time done. I was actually hoping to get a lot more done, and then Lincoln had an exposure, a potential COVID exposure at his daycare centre, so they were closed for 2 weeks, and Lincoln had to isolate. Technically, I know this sounds really weird, but the way it works in Australia, technically Danny and I didn't have to isolate because we weren't exposed. It was Lincoln who was exposed, so we just had to return a negative test result, and we could have kind of gone about our day as needed once we were negative, but Lincoln had to remain inside, well, within the boundaries of our property for the 2 weeks. So I thought I'd get a lot of scrapping done. I didn't. In fact, I don't think I touched my scrapbooking supplies. I basically missed out on participating in the Craft IQ Hop. My video's done. It's just not voiceovered. So you will see that come out next month now, which is a bit of a shame, and I'm sad about it. But, you know, it is what it is. Life happens. I had to focus on keeping Lincoln entertained for the 2 weeks when we just could play around outside in our yard and in our house. Now, don't get me wrong, we've got a big yard, so it wasn't, you know, that difficult to keep him amused. But I certainly missed daycare. Thankfully, everyone was fine. There was no more positive cases. Lincoln was fine. We were all fine. And daycare just reopened 2 days ago. So very excited about that. And it's the weekend again now. So getting caught up on all the bits and pieces. So this COAPA video goes up in a couple of days. So I'm feeling all right. I'm not too far behind. But, you know, just finding the time to scrapbook has been tricky, but things are starting to open up in Melbourne, which is very exciting. Cases are still high, so it's still a bit, you know, it's a bit nerve-wracking at the same time, but, you know, most of the population is vaccinated. So yeah, there's good things happening. There's positive things happening in the lead up to Christmas. So I'm very excited about that. I have already started thinking about my December daily. There's some fun things happening. You know, we do our advent calendar series. We're teaming up with another series. I don't want to say too much because the person running it hasn't mentioned it yet, I don't think. So there's a few things happening and we're super excited. It does mean we will have a quiet November. I'm just warning you because December is such a big month for Jess and I. We will slow down a little bit on this channel in November. Normally we do 3 videos a week. I know we haven't quite managed that in October. That was my fault. I think we're a couple of videos short a few of the weeks, but we're getting there. But November, I suspect we'll have at most 2 videos a week, just while we're getting organised for December and the fun things that are happening. I'm very excited. I've just done my orders for Jess's advent calendar because I want to make sure they arrive in time. It's still October, obviously, when I'm doing this voiceover, but postage, I don't know about the rest of the world, but postage in Australia is just currently a little bit hit and miss because of the pandemic, and definitely getting things from overseas is really, really hard. So I'm trying to order local, which I try to do anyway, but even more so this year, trying to keep local, support small local businesses, and just, you know, get myself organised with my scrappy goodies from Australian stores. So I'm very excited. Now I'm creating a little cluster up in the top left. While I was just talking about all that stuff, all I was doing was sticking down my clusters. I popped some things up on foam. I stuck some things flat. I've got these cute dimensional stickers. So you saw me add a little cloud with the rainbow down in the bottom right cluster. And in that top cluster there, I'm actually adding a, what's it called? Aeroplane. Aeroplane with a little tag on the end of it that says Chase Adventure. I thought that was cute. I do a couple of small florals up in that top cluster as well, just to keep the floral theme across all 3 clusters. And then I pulled out these chipboard stickers. I just wanted to add a couple of chipboard, just small chipboard pieces into each cluster. So I just add a little camera, a little bird, and then up the top I add a little butterfly or a moth. I'm not sure which one. And title. So I found these thicker phrases that I had in my stash. I'm just thinking about what title I might want to use. I know I want to do something simple. It is black. It's quite a strong title. So I don't want anything too massive. So I pull out this word Fave. I thought it was cute. The photos in the story are really nothing special, as in there's no story behind them. We were just at the shopping centre, you know, playing in one of these car toy things. So it's not, there's not a lot of words I need to talk about these pictures. Yeah, so Fave I think is a good title. Now I pulled out just a couple of little hearts just to add into each cluster, just to create that visual triangle with the black. Because the black is so strong, I wanted to make sure there was something in each of the clusters. And then I'm pretty sure I'm just coming in with some splatters and we'll be done. Now, as always, I will leave a link to this cut file in the description box down below. I'll also have a link to the Facebook group. I know I say this in every video, but I promise you, if you love cut files, you want to be in this Facebook group, because Virginia releases free cut files every month, usually one, sometimes more, well, always at least one, sometimes more, and she usually does something for Black Friday, and she usually does something for Christmas as well. So definitely come and join. Now I pulled out my shimmers as well. I'm pretty sure this is Till the End of Time, which is a shimmer, so it's a liquid little pot as well. So I just put a tiny bit out onto my plastic, added some more water, and then I'm just using that to add splatters. Now, I think I show you this really quickly. There was a lot of leftover product and I didn't want to waste it. So I left this in the video just so you could see what I kind of do with the leftover products. And you can see that I had quite a bit left, so I'm actually just smushing it onto a white piece of cardstock, and I'll use it as a background another day. Normally I would have cut this part out of the video, but I just thought I would leave it in so you could see how I make sure I don't let that sort of stuff go to waste. Anyway, we are finished. Stay tuned for the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm excited that things are getting back to normal here for us and our family. So I will see you in our next video. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Bye.